A useful customization is to assign key-ins or other commands to the keyboard function keys. For example, if you're working on separate areas of your design and you need to keep zooming in to each area, you would normally save each zoomed-in area with a saved view. You could then use the attach button of the saved view function to recall each saved view. And this can be fairly tedious if you switch views constantly. To see how you can quickly access saved views, try the following exercise, which assigns saved views to function keys. This is just one example of how to use function keys. First, let's zoom into one area of the design. I'm going to use that previous design. So let's say I want to use this particular view quite a lot. So first I go to Saved Views, and I'm going to save the current view. So create Save View. Let's call it just one. Let's make life simple. And we need to select the source view, so our data point in the view. There's my saved view. Let's make another save view. Let's zoom out to this one. Here's my next saved view. So we'll save this view. We'll call it 2 and data point in the view. There are my two views, this one and this one. To recall view 1, I will double click, apply it to that view. Double click 2, apply it to the view. Now let's assign these two views to function keys. Go to Workspace and Function Keys. And notice that there are currently function keys already in place, as you would expect. You know, for example, that F1 opens the help information for a particular tool. Now, you don't really want to change any of these function keys unnecessarily. Mind you, if you very, very rarely use a particular function key, then you can change them. But F1 is one that you really shouldn't change. You can also assign different keys. You can use Control and Alt and Shift, either singly or in combinations. Let's try using the Alt and function key for our two views. So we click on Alt and F1. And just to be sure, we'll scroll down the list and see if Alt F1 is taken at all. No, it's not, so we're fine. We can use Alt F1. And we need to specify the action that Alt F1 will control. And I'm going to type in view equals 1. Now, before we say OK, change the F1 to F2. So now we have Alt F2, and let's enter action again. View equals 2. So there are our two views. And if we look in the action box, we'll see that Alt F2 is there, and we go up one, we'll see Alt F1 is there. So both of those functions are now in the system. Now we can say OK. I'll get rid of my saved view box, and I'll go to the element selection tool. Now let's see if these two function keys work. Let's click on Fit View to see everything, and now I'll press Alt F1. Now note the status line and the prompt wants me to select the view to apply this tool to. So I'll data point in this view. And there's my first saved view. Now let's try the Alt F2. Before I do that, though, I'm going to open a second view. And I'm going to tile both views. And in this view, I'm going to place my second view. So Alt F2 and select the view. And now I see the entire drawing fitted inside the restricted view. Let's go over here, press Alt F2 and click in this window. And over here, Alt F1, click in this window, and so on. So clearly this is a very efficient way of switching between saved views. However, the system applies not only to saved views, but to most key-in commands that MicroStation supports. Try other applications for yourself. For example, assign a key into a function key that will change the active color to red or set a particular level active. I use function keys quite extensively in 3D work, particularly for changing viewpoints and changing element displays.